Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm so excited, Rihanna. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's so great to have you. Um, I kind of want to talk a little bit about what you do and how you started doing that, and then our recent experiences, what's alive for us right now. And
I
yeah,
love it. I love it. I feel like my journey is very much unfolding as we speak in real time. But I am a psychotherapist. I was trained in clinical psychology, marriage family therapy, and this past year in Fit for Service, where you and I met, I really started to dismantle some of my beliefs around diagnosis and my license. And I actually started working as a coach, which really invited me to explore my ego because I had a lot of pride attached to my degrees and my hours and the testing I did and all the internships. And I really had to release that so that I could step into what felt most authentic, and the way that I want to work with individuals, which felt very limiting in the capacity that I was previously working with couples and individuals. So anyways, I now work primarily with women, and we work on how to reclaim intimacy in their relationships, how to embody their eros, embody their sexuality, their sensuality. And I'm starting to run more groups, which I think there's so much magic in group work, which as a member of Fit for Service, I realized how much I grew because I was in a group, not just working one-on-one with my therapist. So I want to cultivate more of that. But yeah, that's sort of the unfolding of my work, which is wild because before this, I was working with a lot of high performers and mostly athletes. I've had sort of an athlete path myself. So shifting this, it sort of has been like a little brain breaking for me, Rihanna, but also it's like so perfect because this is what I know I'm here to do. So thank you for, you've like gotten a front row seat to my evolution, and so have some of my other friends, and it's just provided a lot of safety. So thank you.
yeah, my goodness. I know what you mean by having a lot of pride in the degrees and the accolades that you receive from that, and family approval that you receive from that, and to shift into something that feels so different. You did mention, we talked about how you had grown up kind of being an athlete, and that was something that was missing from my childhood. Didn't get to do sports, really anything extracurricular aside from church. So funny that we're having a conversation about women's reclaiming their sensuality, their intimacy in their relationships. That was something that was totally missing from all of my romantic relationships. I didn't know how to speak about what I wanted or needed. Um, and then I was really mad at my partners for not being able to read my mind.
Yeah.
And then wondering, with all childhood stuff and the way that the relating went on between myself and my caregivers and my community, wondering why I kept attracting those same types of relationships into my life. And so Fit for Service was a beautiful way of, you mentioned the power of group work. It's really one thing to work one-on-one with your therapist. Being in a group brings the dynamic of bringing real life into it, because we're not ever really one-on-one with people. I mean, it's we don't spend the majority of our time one-on-one. We're working with all kinds of dynamics and personalities and energies. And group work is so valuable because it gives us the chance to practice
Yes.
real life skill set.
Yes. Yeah, that's like what led me to Fit for Service. It was like I can read all the books and do all the trainings and listen to all the podcasts and meet with my therapist every week. But there was like something that wasn't, there was like a vulnerability that I hadn't leaned into. And there's something that's like very expansive of being vulnerable in a group. And then all of our shit comes to the surface because you start to realize the way that your brain thinks, like maybe you're not worthy enough to be in that group, or like maybe you're a leader there, or like, ooh, that guy triggers me, or like, ooh, that girl doesn't feel safe, and like all these stories. And it's like, ooh, now we're really now we're really playing in the growth cooker, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, the way stories. Um, but yeah, I would show up like that first summit. Nobody felt safe to me. I was so hyper vigilant and like, I've got to. And I had pushed myself to share an Airbnb with, I think, 6 other people. And I had been on one retreat before that, and I stayed in my own hotel room. We were encouraged to stay with others. I was like, no. So this time I was like, I need that. Okay. And then immediately I walked into the house. I was later than expected, and I got feedback from my new roommates who I have never met. Like, wow, we really would have loved it if you had told us like where you were, that you were going to be late, or and I bristled instead of being like, wow, these people are showing me care and compassion. My immediate response was to go, I'm an adult. I don't need you to babysit me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, progressing through the next summits, um, I challenged myself, I think, on the last Sedona summit to stand in my discomfort,
Mm.
not in a group. Like if nobody was talking to me, my little game that I was playing with myself was nobody's talking to me. That means everybody thinks that I'm like an outcast, or I'm antisocial, or I'm this or that. I told myself all kinds of stories about what other people were thinking about me. Like, no, everybody's busy. They're doing their own thing. They don't care.
Right.
But so I challenged myself to just stand there and be still. If I was alone, if I found myself alone, which actually didn't happen very often, but I made myself just stand there and like not try to look busy,
Yeah.
and not try to like feel like I'm being judged. I've got to like run away or hide, or and it was
Yeah.
really such a
Mm.
release of tension. Like, yeah, nobody cares. And it doesn't mean they don't care about me or I don't belong. It just means we're all feeling insecure right now.
Right, right. And I love your awareness around that. And then the fact that you're like, I'm going to make a game of this. We're going to run a different experiment and just like be with it. That's so fun. And that's like such a cool way to like grow and expand. I love that. So good.
Yeah. And we just did Envision. And I'd love to talk about like your intention when you went to Envision.
Yeah. Envision was my second festival ever. So I'm very new to this playground of music festivals. And Arcadia was my first one. And I only went for 2 nights. And I had an amazing time, but I was like very much in our tribe. Like I was very much just connecting to our people and dancing. And I just felt so good, but it wasn't um, really expansive. And going into Envision, this is a 7-day festival and there's 24-hour programming and it's in Costa Rica. And our house, we were all setting intentions before the festival began. And my intention was to be wild, like allow my soul to just express itself with like full wild permission, and to be so open-hearted, like overflowing with love for everybody, not like having my little boundaries up of like, these are my people, I'm going to play here, but really like overflowing to all. And what that ended up looking like was like dancing with strangers, telling people when I thought they were beautiful, telling people when I thought they were hilarious, like being goofy and just making so many new friends, having so many new experiences. And that's something that I've been able so far to carry back home with me. And I think it's, yeah, sort of like what you were talking about. It's like, okay, can I run different experiments now that I'm back home and it's not a music festival and I work and I go to the gym and I go to the grocery store and I do these things. Can I be wild? And like, can I like express, like just radiate love? And the answer is yes. It looks a lot different than it does at Envision, but it can still happen. And it's been really cool to play around with that.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges that we have in summits and festivals. And we go into these places where we feel like we're in our tribe and there's safety, and we can be more open-hearted and actually maybe skip the small talk and talk really about what's on our heart, or what's really meaningful to us, being vulnerable, up in a way where, we might say something that we would be embarrassed of if it doesn't come to fruition or something, so we won't say that out in the world, but to go into, we often call it the matrix, like to bring it home,
Yeah.
and live that way is kind of the whole point, right? And so what does it look like? What are the responses that you get when you're at home telling people they look beautiful randomly?
Yeah, I have found so far people are delighted. Like I think people like I think people it can't possibly feel bad when someone compliments you or reflects something to you. I think there's like sometimes like people are a little taken aback, but it's always like, "Oh my God, like thank you." And I think there's like very subtle ways that we can bring the energy of a festival back. And I think like, one of the cool things about festivals that I'm noticing is like the costume, right? Like you get to express yourself and you wear whatever you want. And I have found since I've been back, I've like gotten rid of a lot of my clothes that I'm just like, that's just doesn't resonate. And I'm like, I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear, whether that's like a fur coat, a dragon necklace, a choker, like different textures. Like that is one way that I can like reclaim my wild and my authenticity, is by like only wearing clothes that feel like a full fuck yes. And it's Katie. And then, yeah, kind of operating, Rihanna, with this idea of like, if I'm going to die tonight, like I want to make today epic. And so that means like telling the woman that she's beautiful, or telling the guy at the coffee shop, I heard what he said and that's freaking hilarious, or like just engaging, it's like, I think as humans, we're just so in our own head, and there's just so much beauty when we can drop into the heart and then just start playing with each other. And there's a ripple effect to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's something. I grew up in a really small town, Lake Tahoe, and it's about 30,000 people. And the difference between, it's different because people in Tahoe, a lot of people would say like we're granola people or hippies, and I I would have never thought to describe myself that way, because I'm very much about like college degrees and academia and whatever. That was my solution after leaving conservative religion, to like try to unbrainwash myself. But when I came to Southern California, and it seems that the larger the population, the more we have to filter out, because we're walking past people not noticing because there's so much coming in. And so then you get into this habit of like not making eye contact, I have to save time. I have so much I have to do that I have to just I can't talk to people randomly, and so we get really busy and disconnected. Because in Tahoe, we spent our time together with our friends, with our family. We like almost every day we're hanging out together, not just and be like, wow, that's looking really good right now. I'm going to do that. So coming to Southern California, I was like, just a shock to my system.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw this, Rihanna. I saw this meme on Instagram, and this woman was saying, like, I grew up never seeing a relaxed woman. And I was like, oh, like, I want my daughter to like see a relaxed woman. But you're so right. It's difficult in where we live because everyone's like, we almost like, I don't know, it's like we really value being busy. And so it's like almost like, am I even good if I don't have my calendar packed and I'm head down on my phone responding to emails and texts? But it's like, man, I think so many little girls look at the woman in their lives and don't see relaxed women that move with ease and can actually like slow down to tell someone they look beautiful or have a conversation or take a deep breath, because we're just like go, 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 go. And we're nagging our partner and we're cleaning the house and we're telling our kids they've got to do, and it's just like, whoa, so that's, listening to you say that, I'm like, that just was kind of a God wink for me of like, yeah, like, Katie, be that relaxed woman, and I think when we start to embody that, I don't know, I think that energy feeds, other people can feel it,
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the clothing, I love that you have gotten rid of some stuff that just doesn't resonate, like being an accountant, forcing myself to buy these conservative clothes.
Yeah.
Like I've really tamped down my sexuality. I turned so much off because I was turned off
Yeah.
by what I was wearing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's funny. I had two of our girlfriends from Fit for Service, Megan and Summer. They were over at my place and they pulled up my website, Rihanna, and they were dying laughing. They're like, "Who is this?" Like, but it's like almost like when you are dressing the part of like what the clients you're working with or the environments you're in, and so you start dressing the part instead of like, what would it be like to be me and see what the universe, like what I magnetize, what I attract, what the universe will present. But that's so backwards from our training, our upbringing, the messages we get from our culture. It's like, fit in this box and you will get this, instead of like, be who you are and see how the universe will delight you. But it's like, I feel you on that, of like the way that you dress for a certain job. And it's like, whoa, what is happening?
Yeah. I love the way you framed that. That be who you are and see what the universe delights you with. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to be in pleasure and delight and sensation. And when we're fitting into that box, how many parts of us do we have to chop off?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's
don't
almost
tell
like
the
I would,
truth.
right. I would look at somebody who had the career or was like embodied in what I thought I wanted from the world. And then I tried to be that, instead of like slowing down, connecting with my body, connecting with my pussy, connecting with my heart, and being like, what is wanting to live through me? And then just being that. I was trying, I've always been sort of looking for the blueprint of like, tell me how to get here. And as an athlete, that was very much the path of like, okay, if you do these things, you'll get the full ride scholarship, you'll go play D1, you'll get to do this. And so I like followed the path, and I had a coach or a guide. And And I never until recently like really connected to what is living through me, and that nobody on earth can give me the blueprint because there's nobody that's Katie Cheadle, and there's something really powerful about connecting to that. And then what seeps through is magnetism, your art, cool new ideas. Like it's just friends that are actually aligned, like relationships that are actually aligned, sexual partners that are actually aligned, because you're actually embodying your truth. And it's like, oh, of course.
Right. But like you said, it goes against all of our programming.
Right.
And we're so often, I mean, even in spirituality, even in coaching, training, like we're always looking for other people's information and insight. And I'm going to listen to 20 podcasts and read 30 books, and I'm going to gather all this information. In the meantime, there is no room for me or my creativity or who I am. So at some point we have to pause and listen to what's there, and then start noticing which of those things are those voices from out there that are so taking over.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's so cool because we're in this like age of mass information. So we can like learn so much, and like just so much knowledge and information. But then sometimes it's like, when's the last time I had an original thought? Like, it's like, because it's like you go from your book to your podcast to like, and it's like, whoa. And I to your point, Rihanna, it's like we have to be really intentional about creating those pauses, that like sacred space to just be with ourselves, because otherwise, like, there's just so much consumption, which is really cool. And I love reading books and listening to podcasts, and I want to express my art, and that only comes from connecting with self and my highest self. And yeah, it's a interesting time to be alive.
Absolutely. It is. I mean, I can consume information all day, 14 hours a day, but learning to pause and stop. And that was kind of part of that. My trip to Costa Rica, it was 3 weeks, 22 days. So started with ayahuasca journey with all new community. And it was 20 people. I knew 4 of them before I got there. And it was shared housing, like no separate bedrooms and no doors on any of the bedrooms. And so I'm in Layla Martin's Vita coaching program, and part of my daily ritual is a pleasure practice, like reclaiming my sexuality, my pleasure for myself.
Yes.
And couldn't do any of that for, that first week because no privacy. And I noticed just a gradual disconnect, a disembodiment that started to happen. And so then had to incorporate just the awareness of that and bringing myself back into my body. So I spent so much time resourcing and just getting into my body just through breath and sensation and like walking and being in nature and taking breaks. Like, I mean, I guess relationally, I would be described as an avoidant person.
Okay.
So I'll tend to, I definitely like a lot of alone time. And, like I said, at the summits, I would like run and be so worried about being perceived as not belonging. But getting myself to stay in the group and still be embodied, because I have a tendency to really beat myself up with my avoidant patterns, because the only thing I really ever regret deeply is avoidance, is when I didn't make the connection with the person that was right there, like offering the connection, and I ran, so getting myself to stay and be in my body was quite the practice. I mean, really exciting, thrilling, and took a lot of freaking energy.
Yeah. You're just so badass, Rihanna, for doing that. Of like, okay, like this is a little uncomfortable, but it's like a worthy pursuit. And like, okay, like I'm stepping into this, and just, I don't know, just having the courage to do that is so inspiring. And I would also like just say, as someone who has been in your energy and been in your presence, like you're robbing humanity when you avoid, because you are just, the feeling I get in your presence is just like, it's rare for me to feel like somebody is so authentic and sincere. Like you just, it feels so good in my nervous system, because you just are so Rihanna, and there's no bullshit, and nothing feels fake or out of alignment or inauthentic. It's just like, it's like this really amazing exhale, and just it creates a permission field for like everyone else to just be like honest and raw and real and comfortable and natural. And when you avoid, and I didn't even know this about you until this chat, but when you avoid, you're robbing people of that experience. So I hope you don't do that anymore.
Oh, thank you. That's a really beautiful reflection. I can tell myself I'm really awkward. So that's pretty interesting. I actually, yeah, they're so kind. Yeah, I actually love being around you because it feels like a lot of permission in rewilding, because like that's one of my major goals, is like I want to reclaim myself and my fullness. And when you are around, you are in your body and you are feeling it and you are having a great time, and you're giving everyone else permission to just take in all that sensation and be in their body and be in fun and joy and pleasure. And yeah, it's really, really awesome to be around as well. My internet is freaking out. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of that, Envision, wearing what you want, costuming.
Yeah.
Envision was my first music festival. So we're, pretty.
You are wild, my friend. That's like your first one. You and I, like, we didn't start small, No,
we didn't. We're committed. We're diving in. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I posted on Instagram about like, I brought a thong bikini bottom to Costa Rica thinking there's no way I'm going to put this on, like not in front of people, but I'm going to bring it and we'll just see what happens. And so that first whole week, it was an absolute no with all of those people that I was just meeting. And then, I'm watching the other women around me and they're wearing thongs, and I'm considering wearing it to the beach or something. To a waterfall hike that we took. And so I Google whether women wear thongs in Costa Rica, because in Brazil, that's, so it says, no, not really. That's not customary in Costa Rica. And then it said it's changing. So I was like, I'm just going to wear it. I'm going to do it anyway, whatever. And so it was just an interesting practice to be in all day. But I was looking around, there were plenty of other women in thongs. So I was like, okay. So then at Envision, same thing. Is everybody else, are other people doing this? Okay, then I can do it. And so wearing a thong all day just I have all kinds of stories about my body, like body dysmorphia, grew up with eating disorders, and I don't think eating disorders are ever like fully resolved. The patterns like sneak back in. There's a pattern of deprivation, and I did research papers on it, and it's really all about trying to get control. When you feel you're in an out of control environment, you might use eating or not eating as a way of feeling in control. And so, walking around in a thong, like just barely wearing anything in public, was uncomfortable. But after 5-10 minutes, feeling so liberated, and then being in a workshop where I was like, my edges were just constantly coming up. So we get into a journey where we're just, oh yeah, I'm going to lay down and do a shamanic journey, which requires no active anything from me, just visualization, right? Listening, presence. And then the instructor's like, get up on your hands and knees. And I'm in the thong. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then but it's so funny, the thing about being in group dynamics while everybody else is doing it. So now like it gets us to push past our edges. So, okay, so I get up on my hands and knees and we're doing cat-cow movements. Then it's like, now we're doing hip circles, and I'm toward the front and I'm like, oh, I am not allowed to do this. It was so funny. So I did it. I got myself to do it, and it was amazing. And then I walked out, and like eye contact with people, I felt there's nothing left for me to hide here. Like it's all been seen. And so I was able to just be more present, make more eye contact. And I was just getting looks from men and cat calls when we were on the street waiting for our transportation. And Jana looked over at me and was like, what did you unlock in there?
Love it. Yes. I'm like covered in chills hearing this story, and it makes my eyes water. I don't know. It's just, it feels like that's what it's about. It's just like, okay, there was one edge at the beginning. You were literally Googling, can I wear a thong in Costa Rica? Do women do this? And at the end, you're doing like hip circles and on your hands and knees, and men are bowing to you. It's like, yes, Rihanna, yes. More of that. Oh, more of that. Oh my God. So good. So good.
Yeah. So I'm curious what types of edges you find with clients when you're starting to work with these women that you've started working with in this area.
Oh yeah. I mean, edges are like a thong, that would be like way out there. So you are like, that's like full, that's a lot of permission. Some of the edges that we talk about in sessions is actually how you kind of started today's session of our talk about naming desires. That feels like such a core step one or edge for many women of like, can I name my desire? And it's usually like two things get in the way. One is we don't create that pause to even know, like, what do I desire? Like, what do I want? Not what I think he wants or she wants, or what do I want? And creating that space is really powerful. And then also, if I know what I want, do I have the courage to ask for it? Like, what if my partner rejects me? Or what if they say they can't do that? Or it brings up a lot of our wounding. And so I think, to answer that, like, that's usually the first edge is like really desire. But then there's like silly things too of like, can I buy lingerie? Like, can I wear a choker? Do I have to wear a bra? What if I go commando? Like, okay, I want to go dancing or get pole dancing lessons, or like all these like little things that are on our heart. And it's like, ooh, like, can I do that? What will people think? Can I post that picture on Instagram? Like it rears its head in like all these different ways.
Oh, it sure does. That's funny because I consider myself really conservative, but when I actually speak with other women, and they've said something like, well, I have to wear underwear. I have to wear a certain type of underwear. Like, there are a lot of women who believe that wearing a thong as a mother is some kind of sin. Like, a mother's role means that she has to wear underwear that fully covers her butt. And it's like, what?
Yeah. What is
Why?
happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many stories. I mean, you and I could talk for hours probably of like what the story of what a mom should be is. Like that there's a lot of that, but then also like what a wife should be, and then what a woman in her 30s and 40s and 50s should be. And I just like bow to the Mama Ginas of the world, because at 70, she is wearing lingerie and her fur coats, and she's talking about her pussy and dancing unapologetically. And I'm like, yes, like that is. And I also honor that that's not everybody's path, but I think there's something powerful about you get to choose how you show up, and the world's giving a lot of messaging about what that should look like. And I think the quicker that we can like release that and like come to what our truth is, the better. And you gave such a good example, Rihanna. It's like there is a part of you that was like, I need to Google this. Is this okay? You know? And I think we all have those moments where it's like, is this okay? And we're looking for something outside of ourself to give us permission. But really, it's like, we all have our own permission field, and it's like, man, you know, it's powerful when we take that back.
Yeah. And when we give ourselves permission, and then like it's just like this big, for me, it's like a muscular release, just this release of tension, of like and then there's muscle memory where it like tightens back up. But
like, let's be honest.
Yeah. But to remind ourselves, oh my gosh. And then when I'm out in the world and I'm talking about it or observing, I'm watching people's reaction or response to me saying the word pussy, for example, and the way that they kind of freak out, it doesn't make me freak out anymore. It makes me feel like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you're dealing with all of that tension still. Yes. Like, there are ways to get through this, because these are just words and we don't have to kill each other over them.
Right. And it's you're raising consciousness every time you kind of trigger somebody by doing that. It's like, oh, and she's a mom, and she's successful, and she's like really smart, and and she says puss. Like, it's like you're raising consciousness. And I think that's a sacred role for many of us who are like embodying our sexuality and rewriting new stories. It's like we're gonna trigger some people, you know? And it sounds like you have like deep compassion for wherever they're at on their journey, which is beautiful.
Yeah. And I mean, I will be honest, I can get impatient with the ones that really want to cling to that and like charge into battle with their sword raised. Like, how dare you say pussy? My daughter can never hear that word. Yeah. It's like, your daughter has won. Right. And stop making her, by you behaving that way, she's feel like there's something wrong with it. It needs to be clenched up and closed, and she's not going to get to enjoy it. And it was designed for pleasure.
Yes, literally.
So terrified of like sexual innocence being broken that we don't realize they carry that garbage into adulthood. And then they are working with you because they don't know how to name their desires or ask their partner to do it.
Yeah. And then like virginity is something we lose instead of every other experience in life. It's something we gain, but yet our sexuality, we lose it. It's like, oh God, it's like so deep rooted. And yeah, it's interesting hearing you talk about that. I shifted the way that I was putting content out on my Instagram, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and was really starting to talk about sex and sensuality and eros and embodiment. And I lost some of my clients. I have clients who are in high school and college, so their parents are paying for their sessions. And I was a collegiate athlete, so I work with a lot of like very high performing athletes. And I lost some clients when I started doing that. And it's like, ooh, like, even though my skills haven't changed, my education hasn't changed, my journey as an athlete, because I am embodying something new and attracting new clients, these parents felt uncomfortable. And it was something I really had to sit with, because I felt like I've done something bad. It feels scary to lose some of my business. Like, I brought up all these sort of shame stories and survival stories. And I really had to just like feel that, and then like just move through it and trust that my mission is to be like fully expressed and fully embodied. But what you're talking about, especially with parents with little girl, you shouldn't say that. It's seeped into our culture, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough to witness.
It is. And so it takes so much courage to not identify with those stories and then contract and retract and put yourself back in the box and maybe start dressing the way that you are on your website, because my livelihood is in danger now. Right. That's incredible. And oh my goodness, I have friends that like their children have crushes on each other. They feel attraction to each other. And like the minute you're born, you become a sexual being. You, as a baby, you explore your body and all of the sensation. So that doesn't mean that you should be sexualized by an adult, or, that you're in a position to give consent, because you're not. Your brain isn't fully developed. But children having little crushes on each other does not. I know people who will not allow their daughters to even speak. They tell their daughters, you're not allowed to have a crush. That's not even a possibility. Like, you can't control whether your child has a crush. You can control whether she hides it from you. Yeah. And do you think that's really good parenting? So I hear from all the girls who their crushes are and what's going on. But they're not allowed, they can't tell their parents about it. And it's just like, I just don't see how you think that your child being afraid to tell you the truth. Like, how does that empower you to give them good guidance?
Yeah. Oh,
the conversation's not even being had.
Yeah. We are so repressed. And it's like, it starts at such a young age. Like, don't have a crush, don't express your sexuality, don't touch yourself, like shame, shame, shame. And we wonder why we're like all craving intimacy and why we're all so pent up. And I think, God, we have so much work to do. We have a lot of work to do in this space, which inspires me and excites me, but it's also like deep grief, like a lot of sadness, like really has to move through me sometimes, because it's like, oh, like there's another way. And like the repression, it's just incestuous, and it's in all of our families and in our friend. It's so present, and it's there's a sadness attached to it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the point that you made about the content, as you start to change and you show up in a different way, or you're bringing another part of yourself, integrating it, and bringing it online and showing it. I've had a lot of people concerned that, okay, now that you're in fit for service, they're teaching you this thing, they're manipulating your brain, and now you're like in a cult and you're not in control of yourself. And it's like, no. This stuff was always in me. I found a place where I was allowed to let it out, and where people will stand next to me as I'm saying it out loud and not judge me and tell me I'm disgusting or that I'm a danger to their children.
Yes.
That's what happened there.
Oh,
not
Yeah.
me getting programmed.
Right, right. Yeah, it's so wild where it's actually my experience in Fit for Service was it was like deprogramming everything that society projects and then like really being in the discomfort because it was quite uncomfortable of like what is true for me and I it took me a long time to get there and now Rihanna like I if people are in my orbit like I'm going out to dinner with my friends or I you must show up in your fullness, whatever that is. Like you must like there's no room to be anything you're not. And I want to like scream that from the rooftops. But yeah, Fit for Service, that's what it that's what it was. It was like, what Rihanna, who are you really? What is Rihanna dying to express? Like, what does your inner child want to do? What does your highest self want to say? Like, how do you dance? How do you talk? How do you dress? How do you move? And it's like, oh my God. Oh, okay, like yeah, this I haven't been me. Okay, what does Rihanna like? And it's wild that we're doing this in our 30s and 40s and 50s, but this is the world we're in and I'm so glad I'm doing it now versus
Yeah.
dying and having never done it.
Oh, all the regret, all
Ah,
the life unlived by not doing this. I mean, it has been such a gift. And like you said, so uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Because like, I mean, I'm 41, like the years and years of nope, nope, hide, don't do that, don't do that, don't say that, don't say that. Nope. Inappropriate, inappropriate. Like to then be asked to, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You tell me what you want. Like
Yeah.
to be in a position like to realize I don't know what I want because I don't know who I am because I only have ever had time and energy to keep stuffing myself back into this box.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it's like that parenting. I don't know if you saw that parenting video that went viral, but the guy was talking about like when his kid's like, Dad, do you like my artwork? And he's like, do you like it? You know, because it's like, it's so powerful. And I'm like, I've been noticing the way I engage with Logan, my daughter, and it's like more of that. Like, do you like your outfit? What do you want to wear? Do you think that would look good on your wall? Like, what do you think? And like, I will celebrate Logan's joy and Logan's decisions. But it's so easy to just get in this cycle where little kids are craving mom and dad's validation. And if they get it, they're good. And if they don't, they're bad. And it's this whole thing. And I think Fit for Service actually does some reparenting with all of us of like, what do you want, Rihanna? What do you
Yeah,
like? What makes you happy? You know?
yeah, absolutely. And then and thank goodness, then as parents, we get to start reparenting our children while they're still children. And but I do find myself, I have the hardest time getting myself to say to them, how do you feel about it? Because I have this pattern of positivity where I'll say, was it fun? Did you have fun? Did you like that? Make sure you have a fun day. Are you going to have a great day today? Are you going to make it a great? So instead of constantly like just, how do you feel about that? It's
Mhm.
like not projecting that it has to be felt a certain way.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, your awareness is so next level. Like your kids are so lucky to have you as a mom. Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But your daughter too. I mean, a
Mhm.
relaxed woman
Relaxed
that's
woman.
that's sexually expressed, is connected with her creative. Our sexual energy is our creative energy, our generative energy. It's what
Yes.
brings life. Um, like for us to try to tell ourselves that we've got to cut off the force that brings life. Are we supposed to be dead then?
Right. Honestly. Honestly. And it's so cool because like what I notice with Logan is like nothing needs to be said. Like she watches. And like when I dance freely and I'm putting on clothes that make me happy, and I might look different than the other moms in Target, or like I have a vibrant life. So she sees my friends, and like I really value community and tribe. And like we do a lot of art, and nothing even needs to be said, because the kids, they watch and they pay attention, you know? And it reminds me of our first summit, that quote that was like, everywhere you go, preach the gospel, only when necessary, use words. And that just like sticks with me. Like, I don't need to preach anything. It's just be the embodiment, you know?
Yeah, that gave me chills. I forgot about that quote, but that's a good one. Yeah, and you know, my daughter doesn't ever want me to be like those other moms. Like, you know, how you see these movies or stories about like the hippie mom that's so out there, that's like, you know, painting and wild, but usually she's very much in her wounded feminine, and she's having, you know, meltdowns, and she's not really mothering. But, you know, being sexy, being fully expressed, as long as I'm in my authenticity, my daughter is not asking me to be anything else.
Yes.
She's looking around and being like, oh, thank God my mom's not like that.
Yes. I love that. Like, as long as you're in your authenticity, like that is just the most beautiful, like sort of anchor to come back to again and again and again. Like, is this authentic? Like, is this true? You know? And I think when we operate from that place, our world just starts to change, and like our nervous system relaxes because we're not striving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need
And
our
Rihanna, that's like,
energy for
that is what I
pleasure.
Yes, yes. And that is like, to me, that's what you radiate, that, I think. And it's because you're so authentic. It's just then like everyone's nervous system, and then I'm sure your kids feel this, but like everyone's nervous system gets to just like, because authenticity, it translates. It translates. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, we're coming up on the hour. How do people find you? How do they work with you? And we'll put all
Yeah.
of that in the description as well.
Cool. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Catherine Cheadle, and my website, which you'll see me in my like suit, is www.katiecheadle.com. And I am really bringing my work into the world in 3 different ways right now. I have a small practice where I'll work with individuals, and I have an 8-week and a 12-week program on reclaiming your eros and rewilding, which is like it's an intensive experience. So that's for people who are like really wanting to dive into this sort of work. I'm also launching a remote group that starts on April 3rd. It's a 6-week program. It's called Wild Woman Retrieval, and that will be more of a community experience. I'm really excited about that, and for the embodiment practices we'll do together, and for the discussions we'll have. And then I am hosting a couple different events here in Long Beach, and one in San Luis Obispo at the beginning of May. But I'll send you the details for those, Rihanna, and maybe we can put that on the notes in case anyone wants to join. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
This was so fun. Thank you for chatting with me and
Fun.
hanging out. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. I can't wait till the next time we see each other, which probably will be sooner than we even realize.
Probably on a dance floor, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. I love you, Rihanna.
I love you, Katie. Have a great afternoon, the rest of your week.
You too.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.